And we're back here at Stem and Rim in beautiful Anaheim, California, and we have with us the one and only, the legendary Tom Matano. How you doing, Tom?
Oh, just fine for old man. I could be 96 next week.
Well,
still hanging in there.
Man, you are hanging in there. You are a legend, and tell us, Tom. You know, you have been in the world of technology for many, many years, and you've had some great accomplishment. Please share.
Well, by accident, I started with, I was about 5 or 6 at the time. I was making little walkie-talkies for kids and giving them away. And there was a big fire back there in the city of Boston where several firemen were killed because they couldn't talk to the people on the street that knew the roof was going to fall in on them, and so they died. And so this friend of mine said, hey, you know, you're making these walkie-talkies, why don't you do that for the fire department? So that's what I did. They were better, of course, but they were still able to carry them in their pocket and just not have their hands tied up. And I did that for a few years, and the funny thing about that was my mother found out I was doing that and giving them away. She said, no, you can't do this. At the beginning of the Depression, you see.
Yeah.
And so we had to make money. So I sold them for 5, 6 years. And it felt good because, you know, I also heard something that was said by Abraham Lincoln, who said the best thing you can do in life is to save somebody's life.
Yes.
And I thought, my God, I did that already, and I want to keep doing it if I can. And so later on, after about I got to be age 15, I was lucky enough to get a job at MIT. They were right across the river from where we were living, and my mother made a deal with the mayor of the city to get this house out there. Was nothing but, she had to pay nothing but the interest on the loan, which is a huge thing. So anyway, I got a job there, and I started going to school there at the same time. But what we did there was to create a thing called LORAN, Long Range Radio Navigation, that our Navy and the British Navy desperately needed at that point because they were really getting killed by the U-boat fleet, the German U-boat fleet. They were sinking 1/3 of our ships, 1/3 of the British ships also, and more than that of the ships we were escorting across the pond. And it was really bad. I mean, we came so close to losing the war of the Battle of the Atlantic because Britain was about just ready to go under at the beginning. And what LORAN did for the navies, both the British and the U.S. navies, was to turn it around. But it took about a year and a half at least to do that, to where we were sinking more submarines than we were sinking of our ships. But it was a godsend because they could use the celestial navigation that they were using, because you never see the stars, you know.
Right.
You need to do that.
Wow.
So anyway, so LORAN really was the main reason we won the Battle of the Atlantic. And if we hadn't won that, Ronnie, we'd be speaking German right now.
Wow.
It was that kind of a deal. There's books have been written about it. A beautiful book written by a Brit called The Battle of the Atlantic, where he lays it all out. And I was in a way lucky, but then the other way unlucky to be involved in it because it was kind of dangerous stuff. Going across on these convoys, where we were supposedly escorting the ships with all the manpower and the food and stuff. We didn't know where we were.
Wow.
So we were seeing ducks for these U-boat fleets. And they were sinking literally 1/3 of our ships. You know, it was terrible.
And you created that particular technology for, is that radar?
No, that was LORAN, but we also helped perfect the radar system. The Brits had invented that, but it was very crude. So same thing at MIT, we helped to develop that into a system where you could use it on planes and ships and so forth.
Wow.
But the thing we invented there was LORAN.
LORAN.
And saved the day.
Tom, tell me about, I know that your technology has made such an impact on the military level, but you have a heart for vision in young people. Please talk about that.
Well, I made a lot of money about 35 years ago with something called the medical alert system. I've fallen and I can't get up. Remember that?
Yes,
Yeah,
I remember.
well, my mother fell down back in Boston and she couldn't get up and she could have died there had not been for a neighbor that busted into her home. And my brother, who's kind of a wise guy, said, "We're an engineer, go back and do something about it." There wasn't anything on the market, so I did.
And you created that technology.
I did. It took about, oh God, a lot of my money and time. It took about 3 years to get the FCC approval. But when I got it, I made a lot of money. So instead of retiring, I couldn't handle it. So I started this foundation for kids to help prevent the very thing that I've had all my life, called amblyopia, lazy eye. It's a terrible thing because you wind up with one or both eyes that just don't work, legally blind. It's a lifetime problem if you don't detect it and treat it before the age of 4 or 5. And the trouble with all of this is that, and I know from personal experience because I have it, I've been through the problems you have when you only have one eye.
Yes, sir.
As a matter of fact, when I got into the Navy, I lost some of the vision of my good eye. So I've only had like about a fraction of an eye to use during my adult life. And it's just been a horrible thing because, for example, I had to memorize the chart to just get into the Navy. I couldn't pass the eye exam.
Wow.
And they desperately needed my help with the Lorentz system. So kids today are going to have an awful time getting any kind of a job with a vision problem. Nobody wants to hire kids with a vision problem.
Right.
So that's the problem. So the real underlying problem is that children just don't know what normal vision is. They have no way of knowing.
And you said that your parents can actually use your testing kit at home and get a professional assessment on their children's vision.
Exactly. The home vision test kit, actually, I got some help from my co-founder, who was a very famous pediatric ophthalmologist. And he got a grant from NASA, by the way, to develop this system, the concept of photorefractive screening. We've been using that for the last 30 years to screen kids, like in Walmart stores. We probably screened 300,000-400,000 kids in a bunch of Walmart stores.
Sure.
But now we don't have to do that. This kit is an amazing thing, and we're getting a patent on it because there's nothing like it out there that enables parents, for the first time ever, to check the vision of their kids at home. It's fun, it's free to the parents, and it's absolutely essential.
Amazing. How can people find out more about these vision test kits?
Well, they can go on our website, bettervisionforchildren.org. That's Better Vision for, spell it out, FOR, children.org. And you'll see what's you go on the page that deals with the home vision test kit. You can see what's inside the kit. And we also have underprivileged kids that assemble the kits, by the way, because it includes, among other things, a patch that you put over one eye, then over the other eye. That's exactly what an eye doctor does when you bring your kid in to an ophthalmologist, not an optometrist.
Yeah.
They will do exactly that. They will check one eye, then the other eye separately. Well, you can do that with the kit because you have a chart that looks like this.
Wow. Okay.
It's in the kit, no numbers on it, no letters, but there are all kinds of things that you can mimic.
Okay.
And even if the child isn't verbal yet, you can meow for the cat or make a bark for the dog.
Yeah.
And after a few minutes of doing this, they will, even though they can't speak, they will understand what you're doing.
Right.
And they will be able to, if they have a problem, to have difficulty navigating this thing quickly. And then there's a problem. Then the instruction sheet that comes with that says, if there is a difference, you've got a possible life-threatening, not just vision, life-threatening problem. Take your child, no matter where you are, and no matter where you are, you can get help with this, to any kind of a doctor to begin with, or a medical facility. And they cannot turn the child away. They have to do something.
Right.
Because you've got your information, you got the chart, and you can show them
what went wrong.
What went wrong, yeah, exactly. And so they have to do something. So they may get another doctor to come in and who knows something about the eye problems and do something about it. And the earlier you do it, the better off everybody is.
Early prevention's key.
Early. Let me give you an example of how important this is. If you get to a kid that's only, say, 6 months old, and they're just beginning to form some vision at that age, and you find that they got the problem that I have, where the eyes have different focusing ability. Roddy, you can not only detect that problem with the kid, you solve the problem with the kid. You take the same patch, put it on the strong eye to make the weak eye work.
Wow.
And at age 6 months or a year, you won't believe it.
So you can actually strengthen it.
You strengthen the weak eye.
You can strengthen the weak eye.
Permanently.
Permanently.
Yeah. You know who invented that? It's amazing. The father of medicine, Hippocrates, in ancient Greece, discovered that. Can you believe the guy was so incredible?
Wow.
And so, yes, the kind that I have, which is the leading cause of blindness in the world, you can talk to 10 people almost anywhere, and you're going to find 3 of them that have this problem. Wow. They usually won't tell you that because they might get fired. Nobody wants to hire or keep a person with bad vision.
Well, Tom, I'm telling you, we're excited to help get the word out about your amazing vision test kits for the young people, and this could work for young and old too.
Well, not for old, really.
Really?
No, we just cut off at age 6 because the damage is done. You can't do anything about it.
So early prevention is key, and I appreciate it.
And an example of what I mean by early detection being important. Here's a kid that we screened too late. Read the caption there.
It said JD died at 3 after removal of a cancerous eye because they discovered it too late.
Too late. And they took the eye out first.
Right.
That was the last resort.
Right.
But the cancer had already gotten into the brain, the kid died. And that's very common.
If they would have diagnosed it by using your kit, that could have potentially saved.
The doctor can get in there and remove the cancer, the tumor.
Right.
But if they wait until the cancer's gotten into the brain, it's all over.
Wow. Tom, you're a legend. You're an icon. Thank you for being a hidden pioneer. Thank you for supporting us and being a part and coming out today. And we're going to support you and continue to fan the flames and tell people about your amazing breakthroughs.
I do appreciate that, Ronnie. I do appreciate you helping the way you are. And I'm glad to be aboard on your program as a what do you call them now?
well, this is our little podcast, but we're getting this out for. This is going to be social media, and again, this is for the hidden pioneers.
Hidden pioneers.
Yeah, get ready. We're getting ready for the 2nd annual Global Diversity Summit and fundraiser, so don't miss it. That's in February 2022. Thank you again, Tom, for coming out.
And thank you, and I think you guys are doing a tremendous job in getting these kids on board with the new things that are happening with cars, because my God, they're mobile computers now.
That's right.
So thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much, Tom.